let's get into the big topic of open source, something that we actually say at Red Hat.
This is so awesome.
We are an open culture that believes in
What is that process that a developer, or let's say,
as the Kubernetes ecosystem really boomed?
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is the Ask an OpenShift Expert live stream. We were missing Sully because it's PTO season. I was actually just on PTO for most of July and trying to get back into the swing of things and really just struggling to get my energy up. But honestly, we're coming back into a pretty awesome topic. And Aubrey, if you're listening or watching or whatever, thank you very much for pointing me in the direction of Natalie. Natalie, welcome, man. Thank you. You want to give a quick intro?
Hey, Jonny, thanks. Thanks for having me today. It's a pleasure actually to come back on the show. I've been there for another episode. It was a developer experience on OpenShift. And we used to run also a show called OpenShift TV Coffee Break.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's a pleasure to coming back to the streaming. And yeah, my name is Natalie Vinto. I'm a technical director here in Red Hat. I work in the hybrid platform business unit. I'm a colleague, a teammate of Jonny, so it's a pleasure to be back here because we have some exciting topic to talk about and show in the OpenShift TV way to do things.
Nice, yeah. And like when I saw you at KubeCon, whenever I see you, it always seems to be at like KubeCon or Summit or something like that, and you're always on the Ask an OpenShift Expert panel, which is kind of funny. So yeah, it's cool to have you on the stream again, and yeah, really excited to talk about this stuff today. So I don't have a lot of top of mind things. This is mainly because I've been on PTO and yeah, I just couldn't be bothered to go take stuff up. So I promise next week when we go through this, we will have stuff to talk about. But just to go over the quick schedule, next week we're going to do a what's new with 4.22, like the things that are important to us as admins and OpenShift admins and stuff like that. And then at the end of August, we're going to have Christian Hernandez from Isovalent. He's going to come on and he's going to talk about some of the latest and greatest things that they're doing over there as well. So yeah, that's it. So Natalie, do you want to kick off the topic?
Awesome. So yeah, let me get started. First of all, hey, this virtual background comes from KubeCon. It was one of our awesome stand that we have on the KubeCon. So I selected this one for today. I think it's really appropriate. Look at how fancy, how cool it is.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, and I see some friends in the chat. Hey, good to see you guys again. What a pleasure. Yeah, let's get started for the topic today. So as you mentioned, actually in Red Hat Summit, we had our OpenShift Commons, and we presented this topic about showing what's going on in OpenShift for Agentic CI/CD. Specifically, we have shown an Agentic CI with Tecton and pipeline as code. Is what I'm showing you. So let me get started. First of all, I have just one slide. Then we go to the demo, and then I'm open for all your questions around this. So let me share this slide with you. Here we go, and just one slide just to set the context. This is what we want to talk about. OpenShift, automating operations, security, and application delivery with agentic AI workflows. So we're starting infusing AI agents everywhere in all the components. Today, I'm going to show you the CI/CD part, mostly focused on CI, but there's a nice intersection, and I'll show Tecton and Argo CD or Argo rollout, but specifically what I'm showing to you today, it's how a pipeline can self-remediate, how an AI agent can see any issue from the pipeline, do an analysis, and work in a pull request for a self-remediation of the issue, and then implement that and fix the pull request. It sounds magic, but actually it's reality, and it's very nicely interconnected into OpenShift. I'll show you how. But this is just one example of all those agentic AI workflows that you can have, you can infuse in OpenShift in any components, observability, dev tools, into security, into serverless, service mesh. It's an ecosystem where all your AI agent works and run for the enterprise. So that's my introduction. And now I'll show you I'll show you the flow. So in order to show you the flow, first of all, I'm gonna go and I'll start sharing again because that was just a slide. But let me go into this source repo and let me share the screen again so you can see now my full screen. And let me go here. Let me close this.
And Natalia, real quick, can you kind of just give a quick rundown of what like agentic, what an agentic agent is, like what an AI agent is? Sorry, that's
absolutely yeah. No, we got to talk about it. We're assuming here, hey, everyone knows about this. Actually, you know what? Let's give this introduction. An AI agent is just a piece of software. Is another application, but this application it's using a model to create some intelligence on the action it needs to do. And so the AI agent is a piece of software. This software invokes the LLMs, the models, to perform some action. And actually, the models can, if the models support tool calling, so-called tool calling, so the agent can perform many action, because the model per se has the knowledge inside, but then if you need to perform a query to a database, you gotta run a pipeline, stop a pipeline, or stuff like that. You need some so-called tool calling. Those are functions that the agent can call through the model. And so this is very powerful pattern. That's why you hear a lot about agentic AI. Moreover, in AI ops, moreover for this kind of a use case when you want to automate, think about you have lots of tickets on Jira, ServiceNow. You want to solve them with an AI agent doing some operation also on the platform, on the infrastructure. This is what the AI agent can do, can automate operations.
Gotcha.
We heard a lot about coding agents, right? Those coding agents, super awesome. But agents, there's different level of agents. Personal assistant agents like OpenClaw, stuff like that. Then you have Cloud Go, and then you have this kind of a more programmatic agent based on framework like LangGraph, LangChain, OGX, LlamaStack. So there's different kind of agent. Today we're showing you an agent that works inside a pipeline. And specifically, we'll show an agent using Anthropic, Opus 4.6, and Cloud Go, to do some tasks. But really, this is interoperable. It's agnostic. You could use any model. You can use any harness. We heard also lots about this concept of agent harness. This harness is everything that agent can do, like tool calling, context memory management, memory, and stuff like that. So that's what it is. An agent is a piece of software running as an application in your platform that can bring intelligence by invoking the LLMs and do some several tool callings. And this is what we're also doing in the demo today.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope this gives more context on what we want to do and what the agent does. And for showing you that, first of all, we say that, okay, we're doing this agent working into a pipeline. What kind of pipeline? There's lots of pipeline you can use on OpenShift. You can connect to anything like GitHub Action, GitLab, or any pipeline system, right? But the built-in pipeline system of OpenShift, of course, is OpenShift pipeline. It's based on Tekton. And today we're gonna show the Tekton and pipeline as code, which is a feature, a component of Tekton, to show this agentic behavior. So I'll start sharing my whole screen. So let me know. Sorry for the cascade window. Let me know if you can see that. And
yep.
About the links, I'm not sure if I can copy links in the chat.
Yep.
Maybe yes, maybe not.
Yep. And so in the bottom left hand of your window, you should see on the other side. Yeah. On
here.
Yeah. You should see where it says, like, you should see it blinking right above your.
This okay? That doesn't matter. If I'll share it later as
Okay.
well. No? I just want to share quickly link. So this is my demo of the app of today. It's in the pipeline as code, the main repo organization, and it's called AI Demo App. It's an example Java application that contains some skills and some agent definition. You'll see here there's an agent markdown file. This is a very common structure of modern application that use also agents and encoding agents. No, and so our agent will read this file, this instruction, and will apply some policy in this case because we're configuring in this way. So this is an agent that will make sure that we're using the right base image. We're making sure that the image doesn't come from unapproved sources. Like in this case, we want to use just universal base image from Red Hat, just an example. And then it's using a skill. Another concept of agent are those skills. That is those skills are kind of a action that the agent can do by reading the so-called skill file. Markdown it's like a skill. No, you give a skill to your agent. Mm-hmm. This one is gonna send when there's a pull request and that need to be analyzed. It's gonna notify on Slack to the security team. Just as an example. So I'll show the demo by a simple application and using this structure. First of all, I want to show you this. And by the way, this work I'm showing to you, it's in the code base of Pipeline as Code. Chumuel is the engineer, the awesome engineer that made all this happening, but it's not ready. It's not productized yet. It's going to be later, eventually this year. But right now, it's in the upstream code base. And here's the feature of a Tecton I'm using, the Pipeline as a Code. Many of you might already know about it. For those of you not aware of Pipeline as a Code, it's a feature of Tecton that allow you to run a pipeline and use commands from your favorite Git system. It could be GitHub, it could be GitLab. In this case, we're using GitHub. And so you're putting your pipeline strategy here. It's going to run a pipeline. It's going to run some tasks, stuff like that. So this is a DevSecOps pipeline. It's a complete DevSecOps pipeline that it's infusing AI self-remediation, because we also have this definition of agent. When you work with agents, usually you can define the agent behavior, the sub-agent, what the sub-agent do. You have one main agent, and then you have some sub-agent. This agent here, the SRE agent, is the one that will analyze the failure of pipeline and make sure the security gates are okay. If there's any issue, it's gonna remediate. So those are the things that needs to happen. Those are the general instruction. Read the error, determine which gate failed in the pipeline, the DevSecOps pipeline, check the code diff, and follow the agent markdown. This is super important when you work with agents. You give instruction. Otherwise, the surface of ambiguity, it's really you don't know you don't know what they do, this agent. You they can interpret something, no? And in many ways. So you gotta be strict. You gotta be very precise. Follow those instructions. Use those skills. Usually there's a big system prompt, and then the agent markdown, the skills file. So you make some boundary to the surface of what action can be done, right? And of course, you should do also things like evals and stuff like that. But we're not a topic of today. Let's talk about this SRE agent that is following like a checklist. No, apply the fix if you are modifying, in this case, the Docker file, and make sure it does not change anything else in the Docker file. Sometimes you need to investigate the file, the pipeline directly, stuff like that. So you have some general guidance. This agent knows that it's connected to Red Hat Advanced Cluster Security for Kubernetes. This demo is made in this way, right? The DevSecOps pipeline connect to Advanced Cluster Security for Kubernetes and and Quay to perform the scan, the security scan. Then there are some policies defined also in advanced class of security for Kubernetes, and those policies are the one that will be enforced. In fact, this is the advanced class of security for Kubernetes. We connect to this class. There's one policy called enforce UBI based image. Right now enforce it, and the DevSecOps pipeline really will check everything and make sure that this is happening. So let me. So this was the code base, but I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you. I like to start from dev spaces. For those of you not aware of what is dev spaces, dev spaces is an in-browser IDE is a system where you can have workspaces on demand running on OpenShift, auto-configure self with many tools. Like in this case, I have this is Java app. I have my environment. I have my run configuration. If I need to test the app, I know that here I have already some commands that are available. So if I need to package this application on those stuff like that, I can do that. And I like to start from here because you can fully automate how this environment should be done. And in the demo, I'll showing you now. I'm showing you like if a developer changed the base image with some non-approved image, what happens under the hood and the workflow. But I'd like to show you this. First of all, this will automate everything. It can also automate the coding agents. Remember, you say that the agent will run in the pipeline, but the coding agent can also work with those agents marked down. So, for instance, this dev spaces was configured automatically with a model running. In this case, we're using for the coding agent. We're using OpenShift AI model as a service, a Qwen 3 235 million model, and it's one agent. For the pipeline agent, we're using Cloud Code, we're using Opus 4.6, so we're using different agents. One is a coding agent, one is an agent looking at it. But let me start doing this. Imagine we do some change in the code base here, and first of all, this is we're working on the base image. Imagine for some reason somebody did something here, and I have already here. Check Docker. Imagine I pick one image from Docker app instead of the let's say company approved base image. I'm copying and pasting this image from Docker app. Same JDK, but coming from Docker app for some reason. And so let's imagine I can review my change. I can add this, and I will create a pull request to have this change approved. So let's say change base image. So now I'll commit and create a pull request, and this is interesting.
Got him.
I might need to refresh. I wanted to do everything from dev spaces, but let me do this. I'm using admin here, and sorry, you gotta see also a bunch of password here. Sorry about that. Let me re-log into the dev spaces. I just wanted to create a pull request to show you that the pull request will create a pipeline that will create this call. Now, since while this restart again, maybe I can show you one of my previous run of this. Let's look at one of the run I did beforehand. Like here, I was trying to do the same thing. I was trying to change the base image, and then what happened? What is happening here is that I had a failure because I was trying to modify the base image, and this was violating the policy. The policy is the one that we put on an advanced class of security for Kubernetes. You see there's an invocation here. But also the agent is aware that this shouldn't be done. And what I like from pipeline as a code, this is my GitHub view. I'm working in GitHub, but when I click here, this goes straight to OpenShift, the OpenShift cluster. if I have access with my user in the namespace I can work with, I can see here that and I will make it big enough. You can see here. Well, I don't have critical CV, but this failed because there's an approved base image here. It's not approved, so that pipeline failed. And what happened here is that there's a new pipeline started for doing the analysis. Well, here's the analysis. The root cause is that you try to modify the company approved base image to this community base image, and actually it's also in my instruction was not available. It was not allowed, and also from ACS the policy was highlighting this. But the proposed fix here is, the agent is proposing a fix, as I revert from the community one to the one from Red Hat image, and then this is not doing anything, just suggesting. When you click here, apply suggestion, another pipeline it will start on OpenShift, and this pipeline will actually perform the fix. So it's gonna under the hood on task that will use the kernels that you are configuring. In this case, we're using Cloud Code, we're using Opus, just to run the analysis and run the fix. In fact, I can show you the evidence here. If I go back, this is the light bit. But if I go back to the cluster and I go back to the pipelines, you can see here I have many pipeline runs in this cluster, and here's that's the failure, the failing pipeline that was failing because of the change of the base. And then there's some other pipeline coming here, and you can see that the SRE agent is another pipe. The analysis is a tecton task. You can see here all the logs. It's invoking the model to perform the analysis. But also, if we go back here, the other one, the fixer, the agent that fixed the issue is another tecton task. Is a task run here, and it's actually doing the fix. So it's also updating the code in the branch of the pull request, so that it's clean, so that everything is fine here. In fact, if we go back to this previously run pull request, this one I was showing you beforehand. So this was fine, and it's, also security review approved. There's a connection between it's using the skill, the skill in the repo to connect to notify Slack. So the agent is notifying Slack, and when let's say the security team send a rocket emoji here, that will update the pull request and say, oh, security review approved, you can go ahead. And then you have the fix from the agent. This is that's a bot from the pipeline demo, which is performing the change. This is the commit. This is the fix that the agent did. That it's giving all the information. It's restoring the right base image. It was checking either the hash from the registry. And it's remediated the pipeline, so you can go ahead and merge this without any problem. So that's the overall flow of this agentic CI system, and this is for CI. Then this is just we're updating the image, but also this DevSecOps. If we look at this DevSecOps pipeline here, which is the one we're using, you see there's lots of gates. It's the packaging, map and test, building the container, signing the container, invoking advanced class security for Kubernetes to verify approved base image, checking the policies, and scanning the image, and then the gate decision step, and also is updating the deployment. There's a GitOps repo describing this application. the pipeline is also updating the manifest. And so the application is rolled out again, is also generating the software bill of material to, in this case, a trusted profile analyzer that we're using to store and analyze this bomb file. And finally, it's showing a summary. Summary is either here in the OpenShift UI, you can see the summary of the scan, the vulnerability, and stuff like that. But in the CD part is also, updating the GitOps part, and we're using Argo rollout here to roll out the application using some strategy. In this case, we're using Canary. So long story short, the agent will fix it, the agent will push it, then the DevSecOps pipeline is updating the image, and also is changing the manifest, describing this image using customized, and then the new rollout will go ahead and follow the steps. You can have here your strategy, you can look at the metrics. You know what? This part can also be intelligent. You can apply the rollout when an AI agent will analyze the metric, the status of the pod defend issue, and then it will finally deploy. So you can either make this part intelligent. For today, we're showing the intelligence on the pipeline, but this is a complete example. This is a complete example that has everything. And if this is come back to life, I just want to kick it off so you see that and they say change. Okay, to show you that if I do commit and create pull request, to show you that you can fully automate the developer environment. This is automatically configured to connect to GitHub with dev spaces connection to GitHub, and then you can create the pull request from here with your change, and then the pull request again will create the pipeline, and then if there's a failure, it will be analyzed and it will be inspected by the edge. You see, there's my new pull request created a new run of the pipeline. So now pipeline as a code is starting again, and I can see the evolution on the class. So back and forth, I'm redoing the same flow I was showing you. But this is now is a standard flow. If any change, if any pull request, there is an AI agent that will look at it, and it will self-remediate, and it will also apply a fix, and will and will fix everything for me essentially. This is an example on how those AI agents can be infused very easily now in the platform in OpenShift. You know that you could have. If you're familiar with OpenShift Lightspeed here, you could investigate it from here. You get the logs of the pipeline run, and you ask the Lightspeed what's going on here, but it's not gonna self-remediate. It's not gonna be connected to the pull request. No, that's one step beyond. No, it's a more tied integration. Just an example, just a blueprint for you to check this out. Yeah,
that's awesome.
The overall flow.
Yeah, it's crazy how far pipelines as code has come, and then even dev workspaces and everything. Like it's really neat to see. So like if you don't know, like with Tekton, when you build the pipeline, or you have your pipeline, you have your tasks, and then but you have to go in and create the pipeline run, or you have to apply a pipeline run to get it to go. So like the pipelines as code thing kind of mitigates that, because you put it all within the same repo, and then that way there's different rules and stuff like that you can use, I'm sure. But yeah, it just makes it nice to where like you make a change, the pipeline will run, and then you don't have to go in and actually mess with Tekton or the OpenShift pipelines interface at all.
But also nice, you can differentiate by event. In that repo, there's a on push, on pull request, on tag, on release. Depending on the event, a new pipeline will start. The promotion pipeline, the one that promote from one environment to another, it comes from the, your strategy, maybe a release. No, it's the promotion to prod. A tag is the promotion to a pre-prod environment, stuff like that. So you can differentiate between those events, let's say.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is really awesome. So then, in your DevSecOps pipeline, are you using the pipeline to update the image tag, or is it the agent,
Yes.
the SRE agent that's actually doing it, and then updating rollouts?
No, the pipeline is updating
It's all in the pipeline.
image
Okay.
hash. The agent is only updating the code where
Okay.
there's a violation or security violation, because it's instructed to do this, right? It could also update that image hash if it was in the instructions, yes. But this is more like the deterministic path. I change the image. I need to change the hash into the GitOps repo, and it will do that. And I haven't shown that, but there's maybe again, since we have time, I can quickly show that there's a GitOps repo as well. So you got that repo, and then you have the GitOps repo, which is this one. And I'm using this branch for the rollout. We're using app of apps and stuff like that. But you can see here that essentially for each different environment, we were working in development here. I'm not patching the deployment. I'm patching the rollout, and I'm changing the hash each time. So the pipeline is patching it, and it's using this. It's using customize, and it's using specifically this file to make the change.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love rollouts. I when rollouts, like when we, rollouts was a thing upstream, and then it was like we finally brought it into the product and stuff like that. And yeah, I love it. I'm glad we did it. It seems like it's just the right thing to do. It's been awesome.
Love it. It's so powerful. You can roll out version easy. I like also the integration in the UI. You can see the different revision, because the command line is super cool. It can show you everything and do everything, but also from the UI, it's nice to see that. And again, there's some community there's a community project, for instance, to put an agent into the rollout. So the agent can decide when to do the rollout. Seeing logs, seeing metrics, from Prometheus, it will make the decision instead of more kind of threshold-based classic decision makes based on metrics. If this goes up this percentage, then do this, otherwise do that.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it might be useful for corner cases. No, maybe why didn't work it?
Yeah.
Usually you run Claude ex post afterwards, to debug, troubleshoot. Here, the troubleshooting can be in the pipeline, can be in the rollout, can be everywhere in your lifecycle.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's just I love seeing how far it's all come. Like it's really cool. Like my team internally is using OpenShift pipelines quite a bit now, and so like just thinking about, like, we're not quite at the pipelines as code, but we're still like, I think we're going to work into that eventually, especially on for our QE things. So it'll be kind of cool to have all that, and then have this kind of agent where you can go in and interrogate why my pipelines are failing, especially when, like, hey, is it something that I did? Is it the environment? That kind of thing. And yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, check that out. If you are heavily using OpenShift pipeline Tecton, I think it's a great addition. And again, the Chimuel is the engineer on top of it. Big shout out to him. But this code is in the upstream code, but it's not a feature yet, and it's not in the product yet. So it will take kind of an end of year to have it ready, available. But just want to give you the kind of preview of the cool things happening and how you can do it, and you can see from those repo how you can do it at ease.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I was copying along as you're going, so I'll put the links to the repos out in in the chat. And what I'll do when we're done is I'll update the video description and add them there as well. So that way, if anybody wants to just, if they're watching later on, they can come back and get to it. So the other thing was like dev workspaces. Like I was talking to Uth when we were in Amsterdam, and he's telling me like all the crazy stuff that's going on with dev workspaces. Am I saying, is it dev workspaces or dev spaces, or are they synonymous? Like,
no, I said dev space is the product name. The dev workspace is the custom resource that it is created when you install dev space and you create a workspace. It's just an API representation of the workspace in Kubernetes.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's another thing that like I feel like the more that one matures, like the more powerful it gets, like the more you can do it, because now I guess you could run like Podman inside of it. Like you can pretty much do anything, right? Like it seems like a pretty awesome tool.
It's awesome because you can do Podman in Podman. You can run container in container. It's a container in the OpenShift, no? But also you can run a container in container, supporting Podman in Podman. And it's what I like it's eliminating friction on setting up the environment.
Yeah.
I need Python, I need Java.NET with all my configuration and the coding agent and the coding agent pre-configured with my company settings with some API token created on demand. This is what we do in our demo system. No, we inject those API token API keys automatically when we create an environment, and it's it's with model as a service. That's it's amazing. If and just to give you a kind of preview, we will infuse more and more coding agent and agent sandboxes in dev spaces. So that will be also another very important feature that allow you to transparently move coding agent and sandboxes from from workstation to platform, depending on your use case, transparently. So you need an OpenShift running all the days, no? Or you run on laptop, you keep it running container as much as possible. You can move it from transparently from those two environments.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome. That sounds awesome. Nice. Well, so we don't have any questions, and so I'll give you a second. Like, is there anything else that you'd want to talk about with all this, or do you feel like you sent it home, or?
I just wanted to give you this heads up on this part, and also I wanted to highlight how the security can be infused in every steps. We haven't seen in the demo, but also from since we have a few minutes in dev spaces. When you work with dev spaces, you can either scan those dependency before you open the pull request, because you do everything. You can scan those dependencies, see if your dependencies are affected by any vulnerabilities. And then you have the scan of advanced class security and query, stuff like that. But I think security should start from here, from the beginning. Like you gotta scaffold the right company approved dependency, the right company approved base image, and then once you kick off the pipeline, then there's an overview of everything. And maybe the first time you see here from dev spaces, I can scan my application dependencies, and you can see here that I have a bunch of dependencies here, and also from many sources. But also, if any licenses violation, you can see here, and that's the sun coming in.
Hey, how dare you talk about work and not pay attention?
If there any permissive license, if any, weak, this is, for instance, why I'm using those unknown licenses here, right? I gotta check the dependency. So that's why it's important to look at this SBOM file. That's why we're putting lots of focus on trusted profile analyzer, which is this other product from Red Hat, which allow you to work with the SBOM file and analyze them, scan them. And this demo, it seems short, but that's lots of stuff. Lots. This is the trusted profile analyzer, where we have those SBOM file. Each pipeline will upload this. The SBOM file is a combination of, you see, 300. This application, by the way, is a hello world. Really, literally hello world. This hello world have 373 dependencies, and they came from the dependency of the Java framework in this case, but also from the base image. And here's a condensed scan in everything. We have more vulnerability than just the scan we did in the dependency or just the scan within the container. This is more condensed scan of everything. That's why it's very important to work on SBOM file from the beginning. Just by 2 sentences to say we gotta put security in every steps. And you know what? Since we were talking about security and AI, I think this is why we're investing lots of efforts with the Lightspeed from Red Hat. Remediating vulnerability at the speed of AI. This agent is checking, known sources. What about if we can use those super great frontier model to find also unknown vulnerability and and remediate it fast, and then apply those fixes also to the community. So I think this is really well connected to the whole view of AI and security at the speed of AI.
Yeah, I like this demo too because like it shows, like, one of my favorite words in tech is evolution, right? But like it shows like this, like, we did the DevSecOps thing a couple of years ago, right? Where it was like, hey, we have OpenShift pipelines, we have ACS, let's put all these gates in place. And then we had cosign, where we was like, okay, now we can start signing artifacts. Then we had like, Recore, all these tools that were kind of coming out with I can't remember the name of the project now, but like all these cool tools that were kind of coming out. And then we had like the trusted artifact TAS. It was TAS. Damn, what's it called?
Trusted Artifact Signer, which is the one based on Sigstore.
Yes. So it's like, as we're going along, right? That was more like your traditional builds, or even like your Kubernetes builds and things like that. But then like AI dropped, and like obviously the whole world went crazy over AI, and it's cool to see that, like, hey, we took a step back, and now we're like, let's roll the stuff into it, and like let's put security at first, right? Let's put security in the pipeline before we deploy something. Let's make sure it's not gonna go, leak all of our credentials or do something super crazy because we're bringing in some garbage from the internet. So it's cool to see, is what I'm trying to say.
Right, and that's why infusing those AI agents really help taking this in control. But the agent needs guidance, agent markdown, skills, and we haven't shown that, but also evals. How do you test the behavior of the agent if it is not deterministic? You don't know what it's doing, what's going on. Evals. That's how you test, you benchmark your agent. So before we put this agent actually in production, we would have some tests on the prompts, on the use cases, scenario, and that's why we're working a lot on things like eval hub and stuff like that in our OpenShift AI and in our offering. And then because it's important to have also this test suite for AI engines.
Yeah. I mean, because I feel like a lot of people are probably using Claude and Cursor like I am, where it's just like, have at it, let it ride.
Yeah, that's 99% of the people do it today, right? But one trick, you add a rule in Cursor on your Cloud Code. Use agent.skill.io format. Agent.skill.io is this standard on how to do open skills, and also it will give you a skill and a test, an eval JSON file by default. So if you follow the standard, by default you are the right way to write skills, because there's already a test skeleton inside. Then you have to write it down yourself, but your coding agent can help you doing that. As if you are wondering why we haven't done this for this demo, that's because we are in the 90% of the people.
Get it done. I get it. And what's cool is like you did this this was in Summit, so this is April and May, and like it's already like you've already thought of like different ways that you can make it better, right? I mean, it's just this is you getting smarter with the product. Like now, like with the agents and everything, and the things that are coming out, like you can just build on top of it and just keep iterating, and it's just going to keep being an awesome demo.
Yes. In fact, in the code base, also things changed. Before it was now you can pin the model. Future development, you can also change the model, change the provider, and make many things parametric, so you can really use it how you need it, essentially. Things evolve really fast.
It's awesome. Let's see here.
So this demo is deprecated in 2 weeks.
Of course, right? Or at max 3 months, right? Like you pretty much like the shelf life is that's crazy. Yeah, this is awesome. TechTuber, hello. I'm waiting to see if there's a question that pops up before we sign off. So what's next, Blake? What are you going to work on next with this?
We're working on putting this in make this code as a feature in the upstream, and then it will eventually go into the product. So that's the work. The work is to start infusing more agents in the platform, and also showing how different agents can run in the platform. So that's the work right now in all of this.
Nice. Nice. All right. So rhope9 says, with hardened images becoming the new measuring stick, how many vulnerabilities is okay with NIST2 and CRA making everybody nervous?
It's okay with this. Yeah, Chris, you can tell us. You know that things may. I think it's right that things become really more strict, because the vulnerability attacks, the attacks vector is increasing. You heard about Hugging Face was hacked by in that way, and they couldn't defend themselves because the front-end model were activating the guardrail, so they didn't know how to. Things are becoming really fast. So we need to. I believe that's why it's important to work with trust. That's why Red Hat is doing Red Hat Trusted Images, Red Hat Trusted Libraries, and Project Lightwell is really this product that we're putting there to stay on this pace, and patching fast and remediating fast, and also contributing back to the community.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the answer to this question as well, but it's like from TechTuber, okay, I want to know about today's kernel level attacks and how we secure.
Kernel level attacks. Do you remember that copy fail vulnerability we had in some times ago? It was some of those vulnerability can be mitigated, like that one, with some settings like SC Linux hardening by default activated, and OpenShift has those SCC policies with non-privileged images. I think you can definitely mitigate some of the attacks. And for other attacks, like really critical kernel level attack, how do you react? Well, that's what Lightwell is doing. Using the frontier model like Mythos and stuff like that to have those unknown vulnerability scans report, and then feeding the Lightwell network to perform those patches, and then give it to provide to our customers, but that also giving back to the communities those patches after a certain amount of time. So that could be an answer for today's kernel level attacks, Lightwell.
Yeah.
Plus, what you have out of the box in RHEL, in OpenShift, in either Ansible, out of the box, the out of the box security layer, I think it's and sometimes is able to mitigate unknown vulnerability. For the rest, at the pace of AI, there's no other way to run as fast as AI. That's why again, Lightwell. It seems like a Lightwell episode. Sorry about that, but we're connected to many things, and I think it's the right it's the right answer right now.
Yeah, I think we'll probably have to do an episode on Lightwell, right, to where it comes around, and because I feel like it's new enough to where within Red Hat we're talking about it a lot, but I think outside of Red Hat people probably aren't exposed to it as much as we are. So yeah, it'd probably be nice to have somebody come on and talk about Lightwell and just nerd out on it for an hour or so, just laying it out there. That'd be kind of cool.
Right on.
Let's see. I'm not sure. rhope9, without looking it up, I'm not really sure. I think that I'll go with yes, because I trust that you're on top of it. All right, awesome. So if you don't have any more questions, we'll start shutting this thing down. But yeah, Natalia, dude, thank you so much for coming on and doing the demo. It's really awesome. I'm excited to see how far Pipelines as code has come, because I do remember when it was tech preview, and I've used GitHub Actions for a while, and I've used GitLab CI, and having that ability to where you can just run the pipeline in your repo and you don't have to worry about it. it's just been kind of nice. It's a
Yeah.
nice feature, and to be able to just do it now, it's pretty cool.
Yes,
So.
yes, I agree. Being native to those tools like GitHub in this way, and also adding agents so easily, I think it's a very cool feature. I look forward to see also myself the evolution on that.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it. We'd love to have you back if you want to come on and talk about dev spaces, or if you want to come on and like have an actual Lightwell session. Like, we'd love to have you come on and do that. But yeah, no, really appreciate your time, and yeah, thanks a lot, man. And for those that are watching, next week again, we're gonna do a what's new for OpenShift admins in 4.22. At the end of August, we're gonna have Isovalent with Christian come back on, and he's gonna talk about all the latest and greatest things. And if you're watching and my goodness, and you're going to catch up with us next week, these are part of the Red Hat Office Hours series. So basically we're here for you. Like, Natalie is an expert in his field. I play one on TV, but like basically I just have access to all the real experts, and so we get to ask questions, and we get to learn from Natalie and other people. So feel free to come on and ask your questions, and we'll try and answer whatever we can. If it's about Red Hat, if it's about certifications, jobs, whatever, I mean, we'll answer what we can within reason. But yeah, appreciate your time, Natalie. Can't wait to have you back. Can't wait to see what you do next, man.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Bye.